All right, in most American households, the holiday season means turkey, cranberry sauce, mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, stuffing, green bean casserole. Man, I'm getting hungry. But in our house, the holiday season means fried fish. It's just a tradition. I know it sounds a little weird, but hey, what's better than fried fish any time of the year? So when you're having family over, it's always good to have some hot fish coming out of the fryer. So my son and I are out today to try and catch the fish that we'll be eating for the holidays. We don't care what type it is, it just needs to be legal and it needs to be delicious. We're gonna start the day trying for speckled trout, but then we're gonna transition over to bass and redfish. We'll see what happens.
No idea what this is.
Yeah, I'd say it's a red. Big redfish. Now we will not be inviting him to our holiday feast, he's just too big. There he is! There he is! I got him! Oh, he came off! Look at that, how pretty! Alright, so we're fishing a channel that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers dug in the 60s. And the channel's lined on either side by rocks. And these rocks heat up a lot more than the surrounding water. And so the big speckled trout hide out in those rocks. And of course the rocks are full of prey, so they have stuff to eat there. This channel is also very deep. So you also have smaller trout that hang off the rocks. You've got a couple of ledges that fall off these rocks, and the smaller trout will be frequently on one of those ledges. Each day is a new experiment to try and see exactly where the fish are for that day. But as a general rule, if you want big trout, fewer bites, fish close to the rocks. If you want more fish, you fish away from the rocks. So a big disadvantage of fishing so close to these rocks, you get a ton of hang-ups. You got to be very careful going in there to get it. Today's really calm, so it's not as big of a concern, but sometimes if you have the wind pushing into the rocks, you really just want to lose the bait. You don't want to risk going in there to get it. There's one. There's one. Look how pretty. Beautiful speckled trout. And he's taking the fast lane into the boat. And now he's going to take a boat ride to a holiday feast. What the heck? There he is. I'm not sure what this is. Oh, it's a foul hook speckled trout. He hit me, I set it. He missed it, but he obviously stayed close to the bait. And I hooked him in the belly. Now this is not a big fish, but hopefully he's legal because I figure his innards are all messed up. He is indeed. He will make our holiday feast. So the bite today has been really kind of random. We can't really put together any type of pattern, and that's unusual out here. Usually you figure out what the fish are holding to for that day, and you just go through and repeat that pattern and just whack them. Today we're picking away one here, one there. We're fishing these swim baits on 3/8 ounce jig heads and just kind of picking the bait up and putting it back down on the bottom. The water's 62 degrees, which is still kind of warm. So you would think these fish would want the bait worked a little bit more quickly, but it seems like all of our bites have come from working the bait pretty slowly. Now Joel has to get to work today, so we're really kind of fighting the clock. So we're probably gonna run up to a different stretch of these rocks and see if we can find some more consistent action. And then after that, we're gonna go fish for bass and reds. I'm gonna let this tide fall out a little bit. It's definitely falling right now, but the wind's starting to pick up out of the east. And in this area, that tends to keep the tide from falling too much. All right, so we made a move. We found some much, much, much prettier water. So that may help our bite ratio. We'll see. All right, there's a fish. There's a nice speckled trout. He hasn't come up yet. Makes me a little suspicious. Either he's foul hooked or it's not a trout.
Big trout. Oh.
Big trout.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's what we came for right here.
That's a nice fish.
That'll fill up a dinner plate.
Oh boy, and he took it deep too. Look at this. Look how deep this fish took this bait. This fish is not as big as I thought he was when I saw him in the water. But I tell you, even a fish this size, it's amazing how hard they fight. Speckled trout have a reputation of being weak fighters. You know, that's because a lot of the fish we catch are 12 or 14 inch fish. But when you catch one this size, he really fights well. This fish never came up at all and took me deep down under the boat, fighting just like a redfish. And that's common for the trout in this area. Many times we catch bigger fish, we tend to think they're redfish. They end up being nice speckled trout like this one.
Yeah. Clearly not a toad, but he won't even make the cut. He won't even stink the grease. Hey, little guy. You were trying to fatten up for the winter, weren't you? See ya.
Well, see you around. Oh, boy. Oh, I missed him. Boy, was that a smash. That was a smack. There he is. There's another one. All right, there's definitely a few fish in here. They're not big, but not big at all, as a matter of fact, but they are biting. Big enough, he will make the team. He will take a boat ride home. There's a fish. I knew I was getting bites. Look how pretty, look how pretty, look how pretty. Woo! 2 more fillets for the feast. Perfect eating size. These are gonna be delicious. Oh, there's a fish. Hit me while I was sitting still, fixing the trolling motor. This doesn't even count. I should be ashamed of myself. But I think he's 12 inches. Oh yeah, he's 13 inches. So we made a move to a stretch of rocks that has much, much prettier water, and it's made all the difference in the world. We're not catching big fish at all, but we definitely picked up on the bites. Catching almost all keepers with an occasional throwback, and hopefully Joel's got a keeper right now. Doesn't look too big, but looks like he's gonna make the holiday feast. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he is gonna make it.
He's long and lanky.
He's gonna make it. Oh, there's one. There's a fish.
You got a keeper?
Yeah, he's a keeper. Not a bad fish.
Oh yeah.
Not a good fish,
See if
but big enough.
see if mine make the team.
When we fry them up, everybody's going to eat these little ones.
Oh.
I don't know if he's gonna make it or not. He's worth a measure. Let's
Mine's
see.
right at 12.
Oh yeah, 12 and a half. So we're putting together such a nice box of speckled trout. It's really kind of delaying our plans that we had to go on bass fishing and redfish fishing. Oh, popped. Can't leave feeding fish. Oh, there's another one. There's another fish. He feels like he might have a little more size to him. Oh yeah, nice trout. Threw something up. Boy, I love these speckled trout. I just love them. I don't do a whole lot of trout fishing in the summertime. Chase other fish, but come this time of year, the winter time, when it's nice and cold, late fall, winter, all the way through spring, these things are just so much fun to catch. Boy, these rocks run dozens of miles, and they all pretty much look the same, but they're definitely not all the same. You get more bites along certain stretches of rocks on a given day than you do along other stretches, and it changes every trip. So you just got to come out here and figure out where the fish are.
Yeah, go to
Oh, fish on! Well, these fish have just gone crazy. Gotta thump them on side of the boat and tenderize them. Hooked right in the top of the mouth. Look how pretty this fish is with all these spots. Just beautiful. Iridescent purple colors. All right, so the day is still young. We still got enough time to go do some bass fishing and redfish fishing. We've got about 20, 25 speckled trout in the box. We're well on our way to our holiday feast. Getting hungry just thinking about it. All right, so we've come into an area that has some deep water. It's a bayou. It's got some deep water in the middle. It's lined with grass along the edges. Should be a bass paradise. We want to add a few marsh bass to the box for our holiday feast. And hopefully this is a good place to do it. Now, speckled trout are among my favorite fish to eat, but nothing is better than those marsh bass. They are delicious. Yeah. There he is. There he is.
Maybe that one's normal, but
Fish on, fish on. Nice, nice. Oh, he came off. There's a bass. Speckled trout. Look at that. Nice, nice trout. Oh, dude, I got drilled. Yeah. Smoked. I don't know how I missed that fish. That might have been another trout.
I'll catch him for you.
Go ahead, I don't care. Catch him. That would make me happy. There he is. Nice. A little bass. That's going to be delicious as part of our feast. See, you don't want the big ones. If you're going to eat them, you want the bass like this. Just little bitty guys. They are so good to eat. We catch anything much bigger than this, we throw them back.
There he is.
There's a fish. He's not big.
Oh, I can't.
And he's coming over the motor.
I can't see him.
Go get him. There he is.
There we go. Oh well, it's a bass.
He will be delicious. Fried in some hot peanut oil.
All right, so this area we're fishing has some of the cleanest water I've ever seen in the marsh. It's spectacular. You can see 5-6 feet down with no problem. And because of that, the fish are not really smacking our baits. They're being very, very tentative. Unusual, because we got otherwise really good conditions. So a key for us has been these 4/0 Gamakatsu wide gap hooks. A lot of these fish are being hooked right in the edge of the mouth, because again, they're not taking the bait very deep. They're not attacking them. You really want a sharp hook. And everybody knows that. Gamakatsu is among the sharpest hooks in the industry. Just really, really good. They're expensive. They're not cheap. If you want quality, you're going to have to pay for it.
That's a fish. Oh. Look at that, how pretty.
Oh, the cool jump.
That's a nice bass. And he thumped it, huh?
Oh yeah.
All right, so I really love catching speckled trout, bass, redfish, the whole shebang. But now here comes my second favorite part, eating them. It's the holidays, we got family and friends over, and we're gonna have a feast. And the main course is gonna be the speckled trout and bass that we caught just 2 days ago. And man, my mouth is watering just thinking about it.
Yeah.
directions. Oh, that's beef dressing.
Yeah, okay.
What you need, babe? What you need? I'll get.
Mmm.